There is definitely a developmental race coming up at Arsenal. There are defining periods or defining parts of footballers' careers that you need to take strongly, you need to take seriously, and you need to grab the bull by the horn. Sometimes these situations are beyond your control. Sometimes you're fortunate enough to come into a team that everything is just ready for you. Saka and Emis came into a team that was horrible, a team that lacks inspiration, a team that lacks guidance, a team where the senior players were floundering, they were terrible, they were inconsistent, they weren't giving the byproduct needed for the level of football club Arsenal were. Right now, we've risen the level. The level has risen to a level that we're trying to get in level raisers, players that can maintain the level, players that can raise the bar. The bar is what? To win the Premier League. The bar is what? To win the Champions League. This is the level where we want to compete at. In order to get there, the squad players have to either rise to the level of the first teamers or they have to be weeded out of the team. To put it succinctly, the point where we are at right now is you either compete with the likes of Martin Odegaard, with the likes of Gabriel Jesus, with the likes of Bukayo Saka, or we get you out and get somebody else to compete against them. A case study will be Fabio Vieira, one of the young talented players to come out of Portugal last year. This is a player that won the under 21 player of the tournament, I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago in 2021, was the best player. They recently completed tournaments. I think Anthony Gordon was the best player of this tournament, if I'm not mistaken. Fabio Vieira, make no mistake, is a talented footballer. But talent is not enough. It seems lightweight. It seems like the game passes him by. It seems like sometimes he doesn't know where he's supposed to be on the football pitch. Yeah, he's decent on the ball, but the conviction needed to play for an elite team is lacking. It's giving me a little bit of shade of the first 6 months of Martin Odegaard. We saw glimpses, but we didn't see enough. Not to that level, but yeah, I think that 1 year in the team to adapt and another year to show that you can actually compete in this team. Where is he going to play? Is he going to play the left eight or the right eight? We know the right eight is Martin Odegaard. Fabio Vieira and Smith Rowe. I think one of them needs to make it this season. One of them needs to have an outstanding season. Or else I think the fate will be lost. I typically don't judge players in their first year, right? Especially when they are not elite footballers. I won't say I won't judge. I would judge a player like Gabriel Jesus, who has been in the league competing with Man City. I would judge a player like Zinchenko, who has been in the league. I will even judge a player like Declan Rice. He needs to maintain a 7 out of 10 coming into the Arsenal team. You can't come in and you're playing horrible. No, you don't need time to adjust. You've been playing for a London team. You've been here for a long time. You'll be one of the better players in the league. But a young player coming out of Portugal to play for the great Arsenal, yeah, I'll cut him some slack and say, okay, 1 season, £35 million, or not so bad. Okay, let's see what he can do. This is his second season. He needs to perform. He needs to play games. He needs a run of games. We've taken Xhaka out of the equation. Now you need to play. Him and Smith Rowe, one of them needs to have an outstanding season. Emil Smith Rowe, I'm so happy that he just won the Under 21 championship. We've been able to see what he can do. And we've seen what he can do before. Emil Smith Rowe is a silky, smooth footballer. One touch, pass in between the line, ability to arrive late, ability to get those goals. Smith Rowe easily will get 10 league goals from central midfield, from a left attacking midfield. Easily. A fit Emil Smith Rowe without the growing issues that has maligned him throughout his career would score 10 league goals with ease. I have no doubt about it. Wait, is he reliable? Is the injury recurrent? Is the injury going to be the downfall of his career? These are the questions that need answer. These are the things that we need to find out. Another curious case will be Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah and Fabio Balogun. Who are we choosing? Eddie has had what? 1 year, 2 years, 1.5 years in the team. He had a good run for 3 months of the season. It was okay. It was pretty good. It was decent comparatively to the other second-tier strikers in the league. He's a good player. Eddie Nketiah is a good player, but he looks like a player who needs to play. It's not a player that can just come in and be able to just come into the team and just perform, coming off the bench, things that I know. It's not a Trossard. I believe a Trossard, you give him 30 minutes, he's going to play where he's going to be good. We've seen it. Trossard comes into the team, take him out of the team, comes into the team. He plays well. But Nketiah is a confidence player. He's a young player that needs to be developed further. This is a defining moment for him. It's grow or die. It's perform or get weeded out. You have to deliver. There's no time for young talent waiting and waiting and waiting. You're not 18 years old. I think it's 23 years old. Are we keeping Nketiah or are we keeping Folarin Balogun? If you're keeping Folarin Balogun, he needs to sign a new contract. Does scoring 21 goals in Ligue 1 translate to the Premier League? These are very massive questions that we need answered. Another curious case is the case of Reiss Nelson. He was the star boy before the star boy. He is what Bukayo Saka is to the academy people before Bukayo Saka. Sign a new massive contract. Can he dig in? Can he give us more consistency? Can he stay injury-free? Can he be the player that Arsene Wenger and Per Mertesacker and these guys think he's supposed to be? If he becomes that player, we have a massive asset on our hands, an incredible footballer. That is another area of the team that we either strengthen or trust in Mikel that Reiss Nelson can actually compete with Bukayo Saka. He doesn't need to play massively. He needs to play 30 games next season. 20 games as a starter, 10 games as a sub. That makes Saka to play 40 games as a starter, 10 games as a sub. So it reduces the workload. Saka can play 50 games every season, starting playing 90 minutes. We're killing the boy. And lastly, the other parts of the team that we need to actually iron out is Tierney and Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu has consistently been injured 2 years straight in his Arsenal career. And it's not just 1 month injuries, 3 months injury, 4 months injury for 2 straight years. This should be the last chance he gets in terms of staying fit. You either stay fit, you're a good player, a decent player who can play right back, left back, who is ambidextrous and gives us flexibility when it comes to the defensive side of the game. But you need to be available. We can't keep doing this. No. We're not going to give you a new contract. I think he signed a 5 years contract. This season is defining for Tomiyasu, and this season is defining for Tierney. Tierney's case is adaptability. Can you adapt into coming inside? I don't think so. If he's not going to adapt to coming inside, we either have to sell or we have to invert the right-hand side so that Tierney stays as a centre-back, an auxiliary centre-back when we attack. The same way we invert the left side with Zinchenko, White, Gabriel, and Saliba form the 3 at the back. We can invert the right-hand side with Timber and Tierney, Gabriel, and Saliba, or whichever we decide to do it, can stay as centre-backs. In my opinion, we should sell Tierney. There's no point keeping him. Sell him, get a younger version, or sell him and use the money somewhere else. But those are my opinion. We're here to share our opinions as fans of a team that we love, and that's all we can do, So hopefully these questions, we get quick answers to them. Precision is very important for Fabio Vieira, ASR, Eddie, Reiss Nelson, Tierney, and Tomiyasu. They need to go bang in precision. They need to be able to compete from the get-go, make sure they grab their chances and grab the ball by the arm. Thank you so much for having me.